Nicely, though, take us into this next story, because we're talking quite a lot about the weather in relation to the ground. We're talking to farmers this week, problems it's causing them. Now, a lot of attention on people's lawns. It was Monty Don started talking about leaving the mower behind, let the grass grow a bit more.
Yeah, and now he's being backed up by conservationists who say that to boost wildflowers, help the bees, we need to stop aiming for these perfectly manicured lawns.
Let's speak to Dr. Trevor Dines. Morning to us, Trevor. Joining us from the beautiful Treworth Botanic Garden in Bangor. Well, you have the sunshine there, and you have what looks to me, Trevor, explain to me, it looks like quite a well-manicured lawn I'm looking at there. And what's the business in front of you? What's happening there?
We've got the lawns here at Treworth Botanic Garden, and what's really interesting is that we keep some of them really short and let some of them grow longer. And this is the best thing for wildlife, what we call the Mohican, M-O-W, Mohican approach to keeping your lawn brilliant for wildlife. This is an initiative by Plant Life called No Mow May. So we're encouraging gardeners to put away their mowers for the month of May, put them to bed in the shed, leave them in the shed, and just let the flowers grow on your lawns. You have a pack full of daisies and dandelions now, and then at the end of the month, we ask people to put down a square metre quadrat, high-tech science. Here I've got a broom handle and a walking stick and some canes. Mark out a 1 metre square, count the number of dandelions, daisies, buttercups, whatever you've got in there. Send those results into the Plant Life website, and we instantly tell you your personal nectar score, how many bees those flowers in your lawn can feed.
Right, so we end up with a kind of a chart situation. I'm not, sorry, did I miss, what is that thing in the middle that looks a bit like a golf ball? What's that?
No, to find your quadrat on the lawn, you're not allowed to select the best bit where all the flowers are. So you have your little golf ball or your tennis ball, and you throw that over your shoulder without looking at where it lands. That's where you put your quadrat and do your counting. So it's very fun for kids. Kids love getting involved with this. Really easy to count the number of flowers, but we know exactly how much nectar each flower is producing. And of course that feeds not just the bees, but butterflies, hoverflies, and all sorts of different bees as well. And this idea of this Mohican approach to cutting your lawns is really important, because we've found with Every Flower Counts that in fact the most nectar and the most pollen that's produced is on these short grass areas where they're mown once a month. That maximises nectar production. But if you also have long grass around them in the garden as well, that's different habitat for different insects and invertebrates, and having the two together really is what wildlife really love, that diversity of habitat in your garden.
So you're not saying don't ever mow your lawn, are you?
No, that's right. And that's the surprising thing with our Citizen Science Every Flower Counts survey, is that we thought completely unmown grass would be the best thing for pollen and nectar production. But it turns out that this mowing once a month, and you know, what you've got are these very little short plants, these things like bird's foot trefoil, self-heal, and white clover. White clover is just fabulous nectar producer for insects. They duck down beneath the blades of the lawnmower, so when you come over and cut off their flowers, they just go, oh, I've got no flowers, I'm going to produce more flowers. And they produce huge quantities of flower throughout the year. So it's these short grass areas mown once a month are the best for flower production.
But Trevor, how are you going to kind of change the psychology around having a really well-kept lawn and not seeing things like dandelions or buttercups as, you know, weeds?
Yeah, I think we've got to embrace this sort of managed messiness, this little bit of wildness coming into our lives, and again, that's where No Mow May is really nice, is because we're not saying just let it go completely. You know, that is a challenge for a lot of people. We do like our neat and tidy gardens, but what we're saying is if you mow your lawn once a month, you can have a short lawn like this, but packed full of wildflowers, and we can share some images on social media and get people to send in their images as well. For No Mow May, of these lawns, you know, a lawn full of daisies and buttercups and self-heal and white clover just looks absolutely fabulous. And it doesn't mean that you're neglecting it and letting it go. Give it that cut once a month, get it back into condition, and then enjoy those more flowers coming through as well.
Trevor, can I ask you to say something rude? Can I ask you to stop talking for a minute? We're going to look at you, and maybe we can just listen in, because as you're talking, I'm hearing lots of bird life. Can we just listen in for a second? Let's listen in. Oh, do you know what? That is, that's a real tonic, isn't it? And I'm guessing.
Charlie, that's part of the point of No Mow May. If you mow your lawn normally once a week, if you adopt No Mow May, you save yourself 24 hours, 2 days of mowing time in the year. That's 2 days to sit out on your lawn, have a little glass of wine, listen to the birds, and enjoy the flowers. And these are just starting to open in the sunshine now. Nothing is better than coming out, listening to the birds, and watching a little bee come in and forage on the dandelions.
Do you know, I know you're really into, obviously, the lawns, but do you know what birds are actually singing?
I'm afraid I don't.
It's all right. That's not your area of expertise. That was mean of me to ask. I apologise. I absolutely apologise. So
I can tell you every plant in the lawn, but
so it's good news. Do you think the actual condition of the lawns will improve? Because there's always that thing, isn't there, of time of year when it's really hot and you think, oh, it looks scrappy. I'll mow the lawn, and then you get the brown patches because it's too hot and there's not enough water. Is this actually going to help improve the conditions of lawn? Because people take a lot of care.
It really does. Yeah, absolutely. Last year we had the driest May in 123 years, and that had a dramatic impact on daisies and dandelions. Dandelions were down 56%. Daisies were down 40% on our lawns by the end of May. But leaving them unmown is the best way for them to cope with drought. And if you leave them unmown, you get more species coming into the lawn, and these species are often, they've got deeper tap roots than the grass. So we've often seen photos where the grass is just brown, but all of the little birds for trefoil, dandelions and other plants in there are still green and still growing. So if you want a drought-proof lawn, get a wildlife lawn as well.
Loving your enthusiasm for all things lawn, Dr. Stein. Do you know what I'd do?
I love a dandelion and a daisy.
Yeah, do you know what I would do if I had that lawn there and it was the weather like it was? I'd lie right down on the lawn and I would fully appreciate it. Be connected with. I knew you would.
Go for it.
I knew you would.
There we go.
Look at that. Oh dear, no, that's gone. That's messed up. That's the image of the day. Look at that. A lovely lawn. Perfectly planned and a very comfortable, happy doctor.
And may I just say...
Happy botanist in this happy habitat.
May I just say, you've brought absolute joy this morning. You've brought the birds who were timed to perfection in terms of singing. And I've never been so engaged hearing about how dandelions can help in all senses of the word. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh.
This is May the 1st, 2021. Plant life specialist was talking about leaving lawns unmown for the month of May, saying that it'll give much better support for wildlife, and the actual plants will grow better in the lawn and they won't be spoilt. It's very interesting. Quite a few years ago, the Prince of Wales gave money for every county to have a wildflower meadow in honour of the Queen's Jubilee. Luton dug up a big area of Limbury Park, which was the only flat area in that park, and that July they did not have one wildflower. Please have a look at Luton's Coronation Meadow on YouTube. Over the past 7 years, everybody I have met, and on social media sites like Friends of Wigmore Park, Friends of Wandon Park, which they also plan to build over, XR, everyone I can think of, the Green Party, Friends of the Earth, I've asked for help, but not one person has come forward to publicise what is happening in Luton. If you have any of these skills, please contact me. Thank you. Despite Luton having signed a climate emergency declaration a year or so ago, they still plan to destroy Wigmore Park, which is a county wildlife site. And they just don't listen to people. They don't listen to common sense. They don't care. The whole thing is Luton Council do not care about the welfare of its residents. They make their decision and they go ahead regardless.